Jared, so we're talking OAC, we're talking wrestling, and we're talking growth, right? Growth mindset. You're a growth guy. You're all about helping things grow. State of Ohio wrestling, right? And let's just first things first. OAC started a wrestling championship in the '90s, right?
'90s, yeah, back when you and I were in high school.
So '98, I want to say, is the first year.
98, 99 season.
Okay, so we're at it over 20 years now. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, 22.
And it started here in St. Mary's Gym, right?
Sandusky High's middle school gym.
Okay,
Yeah.
so middle school gym at Sandusky, right down the road, actually. It's a couple blocks, actually, from St. Mary's, right?
It's next door to St. Mary's High School.
It's right there. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so now it's in the Cavelli Center, and I feel comfortable. I like the Cavelli Center. Pretty good, but we've added championships every year, right? Last 3 seasons have been crazy because there's been girls, there's been divisional states, and there's been a freshman.
Yeah, freshmen
right?
last year.
So it went from grade school to junior high.
Junior high, then grade school.
Yeah.
Junior high, 5-year grade school, and then divisional. This will be third year for divisional, third year for girls. Last year's a second year or first year for freshmen. But yeah, freshmen can be big this year. We have a 2-day tournament. Last year was just 1 day. Kind of expand that. It was like capped at 225, so probably be, add another 100 wrestlers or so to that this year. Girls, that grew by over 100 last year, so we, see that uptick hopefully this year. And then divisional, first year sold out. Also capped that out at 550, then 750 last year. This year we're actually putting at 2 sites, so you're like Class A, Class AA, so you're like D1, D2 schools will be still Marysville, but your small school, single A, will be at Hilliard Darby. So Moody and Thatcher over there running that tournament over there. So, and then the big change this year is the grade school, going from 6, since the inception of the grade school, it's been 8 districts to 1 state tournament. Now it's going to be 16 sectionals, 8 districts to 1 state. So it's the districts were just so big. We had 500. You were been to Berea Mid Park and all those Jackson. It's like 550.
Steubenville.
Yeah, they're huge.
It's crazy. I've been to Perrysburg,
Right.
Clay when they had it. Like I've been everywhere for it, and they're massive. Right, Thomas Worthington. Thomas Worthington's got 3 gyms. I want to say.
Jackson, you're thinking of Jackson.
They got 3 gyms.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with it, right?
It was just too big, not too big, but it's like 6 of the 8 for the last 5 years have reached capacity. So, if you're living in Southwest Ohio, Northeast Ohio, I'm like, sorry, we're at capacity. So you would have to get up and take your wrestler to Columbus or Central Ohio, and it might not work on that weekend for you. You know what I mean? So we hope with that sections district, it creates more. Manageable tournaments and gym sizes and brackets. I mean, it was capped at 32-man brackets. We'd have 32-man brackets for a grade school kid. That's a lot of wrestling in one day. So hopefully this pares it down to manageable size brackets and good for the parents and the fans sitting in the seats. You're not sitting there all day. It'll be some long days at a district tournament. So I think in the long run, this is gonna be what's best for Ohio youth wrestling.
And you got your maniacs like your Chad Dennis's who don't have the right weekends lining up because they're head high school coaches.
Right.
I know Crabtree's a head high school coach.
Yeah.
So these guys got to go. If the weekend don't work for them, I know Dennis had to go to Perrysburg for his kid, for his actual son, right?
So now you can go to any sectional in any district. So it's not like you have to go to, Oak Harbor actually has a sectional. If you go to Oak Harbor, you don't have to go to Perrysburg. So it should give you some flexibility in that too. So
Kenston, you hooked me up.
Yeah, Kenston.
3 miles away from home, right?
Tommy Manning, I haven't seen him in years.
Right. So now that's I live 3 miles from Kenston. Now there's no problem. We can just go right to Kenston if we need to. Well, we won't be, but I get what you're like with kids with their athletes, right? Parents, dads, coaches, right? So there's flexibility.
Right.
When you look at it, there's flexibility. And then you guys, I don't think you can stop the growth.
Well, it's surely but slowly, keep Ohio wrestling strong. It's been on the mat for years. We want to make sure the kids are sticking with the sport. The district, they've been tough. Some of these kids that might be late bloomers might be giving up on the sport. In 4th, 5th, 6th grade because they're not the all-star compared to their buddy. Now, if they're having a little bit of success, hanging with their friends, and sticking with the sport. Some guys don't have that success early or have that. They don't stick with the sport long enough to realize, okay, I'm making strides. They're looking at the big picture instead of the small incremental changes. Hopefully this, provides that.
Specialization, we've talked about specialization a lot, and that's where your Division 3 and your Division 4. Right, that's the big change and pare down for you guys is Division 3 to Division 4, right? Because then Division 4 there's a shrink. You're having because kids are specializing, whether it's baseball, whether it's we're here at a football championship today, and people are specializing. I'm just gonna personally I'm not a specialization guy.
Me neither.
Neither one of us was, right. If you look, we both played 3 sports in high school, 3 sports in junior high. And then now people are going all eggs in one basket, right? And for you guys are going to make money off of people who, they're either way. Whether kids want to be football players, there's OAC. Whether kids want to do track, there's OAC. Whether they want to wrestle, there's OAC. But specialization, we'll talk on specialization a little bit. And you and I aren't specialized guys, right? We're all 3 sport, all 3 seasons, 4 seasons now, right? Talk about specialization a little bit. And what do you think?
I can see why people do it. It's everyone's choice, but you and I, like we said, we aren't specialization guys. I think there's more to it. You talk about overuse injuries, but I think the most important aspect is in the leadership qualities. If you're, when you were playing football, right, you communicated with your teammates different than you did in wrestling or track, right? You had your track buddies, you had your wrestling buddies, probably a lot of similar guys, right?
Yeah.
For you,
what's crazy is I played with a Matt Keller. He was a basketball player, but he was their tailback.
Right.
And he was as tough as any wrestler. The guy was nails, right? And if you look at, you look at a basketball player, for example, Margaret guy, Bruner. Bruner was tough as nails, but he was a basketball guy, right? So it's different, like you're saying, but basketball guys are tough too.
Oh, yeah.
I think us wrestling people, we tend to think we're the best. We're the grittiest. We're the toughest. But there's other guys who are baseball players who are pretty tough, right? There's track people who are tough. There's cross-country people who are tough. I think we get into ourselves. We
it's always defend our turf type thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's just that mentality, I think. But like I said, I think with those other sports, you learn. You're talking to, Keller a different way than you're talking to Pat Kane, or you got in track season, whether it's communication or leadership styles. I think that's when you're learning to interact with different groups of people, and that's kind of life. You're not going to always be working with the same group of people. And I think that's the biggest aspect kids lose out on if they specialize. How you communicate with this group of people, and the leadership qualities you can, how you get through and break through to people as far as getting the most out of them, So
when you look at bringing a girls division in, that's something where you said that the growth's going to be 100.
Well,
it grew by 100
last year, yeah.
So it's going to grow by another 100 potentially.
Yeah, we hope. I mean, with the Coaches Association, they're putting theirs on in February. That's going to be awesome this year. You see it already this fall how many programs are starting across the state, and it's going to be a good year. I think a good couple of years for girls wrestling. So, it can only help the sport in general overall. You get girls wrestling, so they put theirs on in February. We're going to have ours in March, and actually our high school division, we had it last year. The high school division's open to any state. Actually, not many people knew that. We had a couple out of state.
Really?
Wrestlers. Yeah, you got to figure. In the past, the high schoolers are probably wrestling the same girls quite a bit. So we kind of changed it up last year. 2 years we didn't have a high school because it actually was in February. It was still their season. We had it down at Harrison, and then last year we went to Cavalli, so it was after season. And we opened up to out-of-state wrestlers. So we had a couple out-of-state, not a lot, but so we hopefully that provides a little different competition for those high school girls. The youth and middle school will be Ohio only, but so it should be some growth there.